Hey guys, Harrison here, and today we're going to be checking out the Rii Mini X1, a mini wireless keyboard and mouse combo. Compared to even a small keyboard, the Mini X1 is tiny, and that's because it's not meant to replace a keyboard or mouse. The whole point of the Mini X1 is to be small and super compact, and to be used for some simple and basic tasks. For instance, during a presentation, you could use this to move along the slides, or you could even use it to control a media PC. And for those tasks, the Mini X1 does a pretty good job. While the keys on the keyboard are barely big enough for an ant to type on, if you type a bit slower than usual, you'll be fine. And the spacebar has even been made a little bit wider to make it easier to press. The keys themselves feel pretty nice. They're made out of a soft touch plastic sort of stuff. And due to a smart design, you actually have access to most of the keys you'd find on the standard keyboard. F1 through to F12 are all accessible, and you also have some standard media controls. There are also some handy indicator lights on the top left of the keyboard, which tell you things like whether it's turned on or not, or whether the battery's running low. Next to the keyboard on the Mini X1, there's also a teeny tiny mouse pad, also probably used for ants, and as you'd expect, it's nothing amazing. While it's fine to pick out a movie or open up an app, the funky mouse acceleration algorithm means that you're probably not going to want to use it for anything more than that. The left and right click buttons below the touchpad are both pretty useful, and in between those you have a D-pad, which simulates the arrow keys you'd find on a normal keyboard. The Mini X1 connects to your device using this little USB adapter, and Rii claims that you'd get about 10 meters of range from it, and that seems about right. You can store the little USB adapter in this handy plastic tab on the side of the Mini X1, and you're going to want to make sure you do that when you're not using it, because if you lose the adapter, you can't buy another, and your only option is to buy a whole new keyboard. One drawback of this keyboard is that the only way to connect to it is through that USB adapter, so you're not going to be able to connect this keyboard to a phone or a tablet, which is a shame because they could have just included Bluetooth with this keyboard instead, which would have solved that problem. One of the good things though about this keyboard is the battery life. The Mini X1 has a 300 mAh battery, and so compared to a phone that's absolutely nothing, but the Mini X1 hardly uses any power at all, and you're going to find that it lasts a long time. When you do find yourself needing to charge it though, it's super simple. You just plug in a micro USB cable and connect it up to your computer or to a wall charger. Because of that tiny battery size though, the Mini X1 charges up super fast. And in about half an hour, it's going to be fully charged, which will last you a couple of weeks up to a month. The small size of the Mini X1, combined with the small battery, as well as the plastic shell, means that the Mini X1 is super light and very portable. The small and compact design makes the Mini X1 perfect to just chuck in a bag for a bit, and the plastic body is certainly strong enough to handle being thrown around in a bag. One last thing to mention is that on one side of the Mini X1, there's an empty mount for a laser pointer, which Rii has on some of their keyboards, but the Mini X1 isn't one of them. For instance, Rii has a keyboard called the KO2, which is identical to the Mini X1 except it's white and it has that laser pointer built in. So overall, for someone who needs a remote to control their media PC or to control their business presentations, the Mini X1 does a pretty good job. Obviously though, it's not on the same level or even close to using a full-size keyboard and mouse. So guys, that just about wraps up my review of the Mini X1. If you found this useful or enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. And let me know in the comments section whether you'd use the Mini X1 and your thoughts on it. Apart from that, thanks for watching and I'll catch ya in the next video.